complicated, lots of people complaining and seeing like a lot of people just banging their head against the wall. So I just really wanted to get a short and sweet, powerful message out of, hey, dating can be fun. You can enjoy it. It is easy. This is how to enjoy it, because I know that people need to stay persistent
Yes.
in dating, and we only stick with things that we enjoy. It's like a gym routine. If you have a gym routine that's like terrible, every time you go to the gym, you hate it, you are not routine that you enjoy, that you can stick with, that you're going to do consistently. Yeah.
Got it. So you just felt like the universe was crying out. It needed some tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes me sad when I see so many people who want a relationship, who want to find that person to grow and build with, and you know that they're serious about dating, yet they're just complaining, they're bad mouthing the dating apps, like dating sucks, there's nobody good out here. It really breaks my heart to see people in that mindset when I know you can enjoy it. You can love dating. You can find that person. So, yeah, it's out of a place of service. And obviously, with the holidays coming up, like I think as a single person and then knowing
Yes.
the holidays are coming, like people just need that extra support right now with dating.
Oh, so true. Anyone, because I would drop a one if I could in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if you've said in the past, whatever, 6 months at any point, I'm fed up with the dating apps. I'm done. This is going nowhere.
Yeah.
I am so in that boat, and I would like to say that some great people like Mayor and Alec Broken, Kim Possible, Earth. Okay, we are all in that same boat, Dr. Morgan. I'm not alone.
Well, then today's episode will be perfect. Today's love class, we've got you covered. We're going to help you all rewire your dating mindset so you can enjoy dating.
Okay, so this is how we're going to do the show. And thank you, anyone who's coming in. Welcome to Love Quest, your weekly dating advice show. Dr. Morgan, she is a clinical psychologist. She's a relationship coach, so she's well qualified, and she also just loves this community. And we have successfully helped. I'm trying to get the data on it. At least 2 or 3 known couples that have taken our advice and like formed great relationships thanks to this show. So we've got a little track record. I know, it's so cool.
Yeah, we're here to help you all. This show is for you because we know that sometimes you can feel like you're stuck or you're not sure what to do. So we want to give you clear, actionable advice that you can apply to your life right now.
Yeah, and again, this is a featured show. This is a show, so I may not be able to respond to all comments or comments about battles and other stuff like that. Is absolutely not the time. But so welcome to the show. And yeah, if you have questions about the dating show as we do it, like let us know. We'll try to answer all that at the end as well. So without further ado, Dr. Morgan, what do you think about getting down to a little bit of business?
Let's do it.
Let's get down to business, everyone. I don't know if you know this song.
I love this song.
Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Mama, please don't worry about me.
I think you might have been the first one. Actually, you told me about this song.
I told you about this song.
You actually told me about this song. You were like, Blake, you should listen to this song. And I was like, oh.
Give you one more night
So good.
We've had a million nights
Just like this. So let's get down to business. All right, we just played Tiesto, Let's Get Down to Business. We like to play some fun music to help us, facilitate some of the points. Talk to us about really one of your biggest advice that is inspired by that awesome song.
Well, I definitely think that a lot of times we just all overcomplicate dating.
Yes.
we develop these beliefs about it where it's like, oh, dating sucks. It's so hard.
Yes, it's like going to work.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, you don't want your current beliefs about dating to be based off your past experiences or things that have happened to you in the past. Like, so many people who are dating right now are letting their past experiences totally sabotage their current ones. So we have to be aware of, yeah, what are those dating beliefs that you have, and what is your current dating mindset?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I also think, again, we're treating the dating apps, I don't know, like work, or we're just not having fun with it. You know, we're being more methodical about it instead of having a bit more joy for the process of dating.
Totally. It is an opportunity to connect.
Yes.
It is an opportunity to have fun. It is an opportunity to meet somebody that you can invest in a long-term relationship with. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Like, that's just end of story. Blake, I would love for you to share, have you had any unhelpful dating beliefs or ways of thinking about dating that haven't helped you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I do think, especially with like the dating apps, I'm like, this is just not going to work. It's like, I know I need to, it's almost like a feeling like I need to do it just so I can like tell myself, hey, I tried today. So yeah, and I don't think that's helped me at all. That feeling of like, I have to do something and a feeling of defeat even before I open the app.
Totally.
Yeah.
So this whole piece of like, oh, I should be doing it, but I'm not excited about it. And I wonder if people can relate to this, like kind of like passively using the dating apps, like you're watching a TV show and then you're using the dating apps at the same time.
100%.
Like watching your Netflix show and then like, oh, I guess I'll swipe, right? Like, you know, it's just the energy we bring to it matters so much.
I think that's one of your best points.
Yeah. So the decision, like you're constantly making decisions, you're interacting with people as you're on these apps, or maybe you're on a website even, and the energy that you bring there really matters. You want to be able to show up as your best self. So you have to be really intentional about how you're showing up.
So good. All right. So that is point number one. Actually enjoying the experience, having fun with the dating process.
How fun.
Not just treating it as business like usual.
Yeah.
You know, it's a job. No, it's a fun experience. You've actually changed my brain into thinking it more of a connection piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a connection. Hey, you get to like meet some people rather than like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Just have fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's get on to another great track.
Let's do it.
Lady Gaga. I'm on the right track. All right, Lady Gaga, you are dope.
We love Lady Gaga. Go Lady Gaga.
So what about, and this point to me is, this is like a big point. What about Lady Gaga's Born This Way? Would you like us to take away?
Well, you know, it's so important to acknowledge the belief system that you have. Yeah. And really getting to a place of total self-acceptance as you're preparing to date, because when you accept yourself and you have that real self-love, then you can show up authentically And by you accepting yourself, you will also attract people who are honest about themselves and they can show up authentically. So basically, authenticity attracts authenticity. You can create real, true connection.
Yes.
Like, what was the other point that I had from?
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. I think one, you brought up this great point about being single is a great time also that you get to work on yourself and develop who you are.
Okay.
However, do not think that's like once you get in a relationship, it's over.
Yep.
No, you were born a certain way. You're a certain person. You're on your path, and that will not deviate even when you start that date.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So Blake, I can't get our notes to pull up.
Oh, that's okay.
We're gonna have to like. But with that, I totally know what my point was. It is this, that a relationship cannot give you anything that you can't give yourself.
Yeah.
So the work on yourself starts before you're in a relationship, and then it continues as you are in the relationship. And in a healthy, great relationship, both partners will continue to work on themselves because they want to be their best version of themselves for each other. So you can't stop the work on yourself. You can't stop giving to yourself once you get in a relationship. I would love to see in the chat, drop a 1, like, have you ever started a new relationship and then all of a sudden you're no longer going to the gym? Drop a 1 if this is you. Yeah. You're no longer painting. You're no longer journaling.
Yeah.
If you're not doing those things for you. And when you're in a relationship, you got to give to yourself more because you're now giving to somebody else. So you have to really fill up your cup. Most people, they lose that self-care. It breaks my heart. And
yeah, absolutely. And you know me, that was literally it's still probably one of my biggest things I need to rewire my brain is that I feel like my personal growth will potentially stop once I'm in a relationship.
Nope.
Yeah.
Here's a truth for y'all. The right person for you, that great, healthy relationship, they are going to support you in your personal growth. They are going to encourage you to continue it.
Yes.
They're going to say, absolutely work on yourself. Absolutely read that book. Absolutely go to that conference. You know, they will support you in your growth. They won't stop it.
So good. For those just coming in, welcome. This is Love Quest, your weekly talk show about dating and love. This is Dr. Morgan. She's a clinical psychologist, relationship coach. We're going over some of her top dating advice tips. We've talked about actually enjoying the dating process. We talked about the personal growth that can still continue once you get in a relationship. It does not end the moment that happens. So have no fear. You can still become the person you're supposed to be, even when you are in a great relationship.
Yes, a relationship will not cause you to be happy. It will not fill a void. It will add to your happiness, but it's not going to be the thing that makes you happy. It's not going to fill a void. If you were miserable before a relationship, you will be more miserable when you get in one. If you're happy before a relationship, you'll be more happy when you get in one, but it's not going to fill a void.
So good. I always bring a little piece of pen and paper to write down, and so that one will not fill a void is going to be
good.
All right, is Mojo here? Because I know I think Mojo's definitely going to know this song. This is an old school R&B track. Okay, so I don't know if Dr. Morgan knows this song. This is one of my favorite old school tracks. So I know I can bond with Mojo over this one. This is another great track that would teach a great point. All right, Mojo. I'm curious.
Well, I like it.
All right, Mojo, did we bond or do you have no idea what that song is? I love that track. That is literally one of my favorite old school
That
tracks.
was good.
And it brings up, I would say, the point that put Dr. Morgan on the map. This is when you came out with this point. This is what you became, in my opinion, known for. So what is it? I really believe
share it with that kind of introduction. What is it, Blake? You share
about
it.
trading expectation for curiosity. It is literally the defining tagline, or whatever you want to call it, for Dr. Morgan, in my opinion.
Yes. Trade your expectations for curiosity. Absolutely. This is the best dating advice. It's also the best life advice, work advice, like everywhere. Trade your expectations for curiosity. So often we go onto a date and we like think we know the person, like, oh, they look cute, or, ooh, I think this is gonna go this certain way. Like, I'm gonna, be meeting them again, and I'm gonna meet their family, and maybe we'll get married, and like, this might be the person. You can go into dating with all these expectations, all this buildup. What that does is it takes you out of the moment. Those expectations take you out of the moment, and then they don't allow you to really be present, really be curious, and really be the love scientist, which is what I talk about, right? Like, you got to be a love scientist.
What Mayor just said is so, that is one of your next big points about, I'm going to get married to this person, thinking that right on that first date.
Yeah. And what you want to do, so I'm going to elaborate on curiosity. You want to be so curious about this person. Like, how do they show up to the date? How do they treat you?
Yes.
What do they like? All of those things really matter. Maybe even ask them about their family. Like, ask the questions you genuinely want to know the answer to. Okay, so be super curious about them. Most importantly, be curious about how you feel when you're around this person. Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel heard? Do you feel like you can speak your mind and set boundaries? Or do you feel totally on edge and like you're trying to please them? Or, like, someone says feeling like a zombie, feeling like you're numb, or like, so you want to be able to tune into how you feel and get really curious about that. Because so many people on a date, they're like, oh, do they like me? What does the other person think of me? They don't stop to think about, how do I feel? Do I even like them? So get really curious about how you feel.
Totally. I love it. Yeah, and I mean that does play into a bit of the anxious versus avoidant attachment.
It does.
And I know you gave a shout out in your podcast to the anxiously attached. It's just, that's a kind of a big piece of that. I think is just wanting that security and hoping it's there right away.
Yes, my people who have anxious attachment, you're looking for a sign that, okay, this is it. I can invest emotionally. This is a safe relationship. And you want that really fast. You'll hear a lot of people like, ooh, I just fall in love so quickly. It's like, well, you have an anxious attachment style. Your brain has a need for security really quickly. But you and I know that there's a different way to build security, which I think we're going to talk about. But you can't let your high needs for emotional security sabotage the process that it takes to get to know someone. I'm going on a tangent, but anyways, we'll get there.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. Those were the tips. Those were literally just a few of the snippets. Dr. Morgan, actually enjoy the dating process. Have a good time with it. Understanding the work of self-development does not stop once you meet your partner. So it's an exciting thing to know you'll grow into the person you're meant to be, and then be a love scientist, trade expectation for curiosity. Yes, very educational, but done in the Dr. Morgan style, relatable, not super highbrow.
Yeah, and the love scientist thing, like, I think it's so important because so many of us will like fall for people's words, what they tell us or how they seem to be. be a scientist, collect the data, look at people's actions, look at how you feel when you're with them. Be a scientist. I use that word for a reason, right? Like, you can't just take in the words. You have to look at everything about a person.
Dr. Morgan, you're amazing. Anything else to add before we bring up both of our sensational guests? Mayor Bear Mojo, definitely request the guest box. Yeah, anything you want to share before we jump on?
The only thing, and I'm not sure if I talked about this, but it was like pacing emotional investment.
This one gets a little bit technical, but it's so good. Dr. Morgan, get us there, because this one's really good. Yeah.
Try to do this quickly, but you have to be able to be really intentional with your emotional investment. A lot of people will just go all in right away. But I talk about this, like, if you think about a swimming pool, and there's different levels in the pool, right? There's the 9 foot, there's the 3 foot deep. If you are with someone and they are like dipping their toe into the emotional investment, and then you are 9 feet deep and you're all the way in, like, you are on totally different pages. So you have to kind of be in the same part of the pool with your partner, know where each other are at.
Yes.
And then pace your emotional investment. People need to earn your emotional investment. It is so precious. Be very intentional with it. Okay.
So good. All right, Dr. Morgan, are you ready? It looks like we got Mayor Bear Mojo. Come on down when you can. We can bring her up. She's someone I've met in person. I've went to a music festival with. I think you learn a lot about someone when you get to have time, and she is awesome. Seriously, she's a great friend of mine. Dr. Morgan, meet Mayor.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Great. So excited to have you.
I am doing fantastic today. I was really excited that Blake asked me to do this because I've had a lot of really big epiphanies regarding relationships come about recently. So I'm excited to, have that discussion and whatnot. So thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. Blake, do we want to bring up everybody or
Mojo? It already happened. Mojo.
Hey.
What a crew.
How you guys doing? Hey, Dr. Morgan, how you doing? Happy to be here. Haven't really had any revelations in relationships as of to date, but I'm still feeling around. It is cuffing season, so.
Yes. I want to know all of you. Preparing for it, flat in your love journey.
Well, I always say, so I'm 9 months single, so I've been single for a little while now, and I would say that I'm at a point where I'm not necessarily looking for anyone, but I'm ready to attract that person. And a huge epiphany I've had lately is that, I got to put the work in myself if I'm going to meet the high standards that I have. So, yeah.
So good. I'll go, and then Mojo, I'll hand it to you. Because right now, I was a host, now I'm just a panelist. Because I'm with Mayor, I'm with Mojo.
Okay.
I'm on my love journey. I'm at the place right now where I'm struggling. At one piece, I'm just so happy that the world's opening up. I get to go have fun. Mayor and I had a blast at the music festival. I'm reconnecting with that social dude who just wants to go out and have fun and not just be a little less serious.
Party Blake.
Yeah, respectful party Blake. But yeah, a little bit, and just have a great time. But I just know with certainty that I am missing sharing life with someone. I know I'm kind of masking that. But I'm not unhappy. I am having a lot of fun, but I know I would be super pumped with someone by my side. So, Mojo, what you got?
Well, for a long time, it was really hard. I grew up in New York City. It was really hard because I was always taking care of my brother, taking care of my father, taking care of family members and not taking care of myself. So I didn't really leave a lot of room for a special somebody, where I was working so much that I kind of just, just ignored, the signs, or ignored, like, someone's into you. I did have a couple of relationships in New York, but, they just kind of just poof, gone. And so I'm at a point where I'm like taking care of myself. I'm very successful right now. I built a career that was about 6 years in the making. So, I'm definitely open to love, but I haven't been searching so much.
Thank you so much, Mojo. I think so many people can relate to what you shared. It's so true that oftentimes we can be focused on careers, we're focused on taking care of other people, and maybe we're doing that out of survival, of like, well, that's what I have to do. And when you get to a place where you're taking care of yourself, and then you know that you can intentionally make space in your life to welcome in a romantic partner, that's a game changer. But you do have to intentionally make the space, right? Like, even with like work, which as a society is great, like, yeah, we all want to be successful, but it's still not going to fulfill you in the way that a relationship does. So you have to make that space in your life. And all of you are honest, so like, okay, keep your standards high. You're not forcing anything, but you're saying, I'm open to it. Yeah. Okay.
I agree.
Everyone agreed. Love it. Okay. I feel like I want to have a check-in with you all every month. Okay, where are you at?
I'm down.
Space.
Yo, Mojo, Mayor Blake. Mojo and I, I'm really excited because Mojo and I share something very similar in that I know Mojo's schedule is similar to mine, and it can be really, packed with just nonstop. He's a musician, he's on the road, he's doing a lot of stuff. I'm in advertising and doing my social thing. So yeah, I think we share that similarity 100%.
Yeah. One of the things I want to say for everyone is you have to get so clear on your why. Why does a partnership matter to you? And actually, if you all want to be real vulnerable, I would love to hear that. What is it about a partnership that, that's like...
Mayor, you ready?
Yes. I'll go first. So I am a chaotic need, not need. I think we need to source things from people. That's how life works. For someone to come in and enjoy my chaos, but add grounding to it. And I think that can be, if that's more of an interpersonal relationship, then I can really benefit from that, opposed to just, I have great mentors. Mojo and Blake are one of them. So, I have great mentors in my life, but to have it in an interpersonal way would, I think, transform my lifestyle in a lot of ways.
I like that answer, just to add value and someone who can partner with you and help you with maybe things that don't come as naturally to you. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Mojo.
These questions are killing me. I swear.
Vulnerable.
This is the side we don't see a Mojo. This is good.
So I know. So I want someone to not use up my energy so much, because I'm doing a lot of great things in my life right now. I'm at the point where it would be really nice to get a bigger place and share it with somebody that I love and appreciate, but it has to be for all the right reasons. There's a lot of people that are just in it. They're not so the relationship prospects I've been running into. They're just not in it for the long term. they just don't want that commitment, or they're just kind of into it, but then they just, okay, well, we're just gonna stop texting and stop communicating, and that's not something that I want, or they get just too busy, or they don't like my schedule because I get too busy, and it's just like, we gotta like that, you know what I mean? We really gotta be like that, because it's not gonna be worth it for me if, I have to stop everything that I'm doing right now because I'm on such a great path in life to revert over and try to, care. I was, for a long time in my life, I was the caregiver, and I didn't care for myself. I didn't. And for me to get off my path and start caring about or tending to someone else, like that whole mentality is like, either we're in this together, or our paths are parallel and we want the same things, or we can't work out. It's just like,
it makes sense, but
and listen, I've had my share on Meet Me. I've had my share of people. I'm not going to say names or anything, but I had my share of people that have been really interested in me. I'm just like, I hate to tell you this, but I'm literally not available. Like I'm like literally working. Like I'm gonna tell you, I'm booked for the next 3 years. That has never happened before. Never. So when I say I have a show in 2023, people look at me like, what? But it's true. I have a show in 2022. I'm getting booked. People are actually coming to us and hiring us. So, I have schedules I have to keep. That's my job. That's my livelihood. So, they have to align, or else I don't want to say I turn them off. I don't want to say I turn them down, but I kind of do in a sense, because our paths are not aligned. So I can't make my time and shift everything. I'm not going to say, hey, I got a date, so I can't do this gig. That's not going to happen.
I think what I hear,
it's not a hobby. Like they don't get it. Like what I do is not a hobby.
I just want to jump in because I think like so many people can relate to what you're saying. I know that they can. And one of the things is it's clear you want a reciprocal relationship. You want both people giving energy, both people showing up, both people doing the work. Because in your past of like taking care of other people, you were doing all the work. Just like it has to be reciprocal. It has to be both people giving. And your career is so important to you because you work so hard to get here. It really matters to you, and you need someone who supports you in your career.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. You and Blake do have a lot in common. Blake,
Mojo and I share so much in common. A bit of his past relationship trauma, to be honest, similar in some ways to Mojo. My longest relationship, she was so great looking, and that was a big basis for a bit of why we dated. But we didn't have like a deeper connection, and it was always like every weekend, what are my friends doing? Like, what am I planning? And like, it kind of felt like, kind of what Mojo was saying. Like, I didn't feel like she was part of my personal growth at all. It was more like I was on this path, and I had to like take her with me. So, yeah, it's like what I'm looking for in a relationship is the opposite. And thanks to a lot of your advice, I now believe it's way more possible. I want a high five. I want obviously sexual attraction, but I want to have a high five relationship where like we're awesome friends and we like really enjoy hanging out with each other. And I do a lot of like social media stuff. So like I'm cool being a couple that like does couple social media stuff, like, and we're out there together like doing stuff, which would have never happened.
The couple with the fall shoot, and you're like your matching sweaters and pumpkins, like
exactly,
sure.
All that good stuff. Yeah, it would have never happened in previous relationships. It was like no way. So yeah, it's like that's what I'm looking for. I'm not willing to settle at this point, but that's probably the main thing for me. Is I just want to have like a fun and like really true friendship based, where we're still attracted to each other, but like really it's like friendship is like a big thing for me, like really great friends. We love spending time with each other.
The growth edge here for you and Mojo, and probably for Prmier as well, is the acknowledgement that you can be close, you can have deep intimacy, and you can set boundaries. You
Yes.
can still be your own person. You can still take care of yourself. So you can be super close and you can be boundaried. Both can be true.
Yeah, I just actually 9 months ago I was in a very long relationship where like I used to be a magnet for like very narcissistic quality people, and I was a huge people pleaser. I had no boundaries, like absolutely none. I would completely change myself to fit someone's lifestyle. And I've come a long way. I had to unlearn the past 9 months. I've unlearned majority of those people pleasing tendencies, but now I'm at this point that kind of like and Mojo are at, where I'm like, oh well, like my lifestyle is not really very conventional and typical, so now it's difficult for me to find someone. And that's the thing, is like as soon as you have those boundaries, you're going to notice that it is going to get more difficult. It is going to become, you know, more challenging, I guess, in that sense. And so it is kind of hard to find that balance of like compromise. Like at what point do you compromise things in a healthy way, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Totally. I love that you shared that, and congrats on that journey of the unlearning and moving through that. That's so huge. Such a gift to yourself that you've taken this time so that now you can kind of re-enter the dating world and just have a different way of approaching it. But yeah, I think everyone here kind of is in this growth place of, I can be safe in relationships. I can be emotionally safe. I can take up space. I deserve to take up space. I can invest into someone, and someone can invest into me. Really, that reciprocal partnership. Not people that take from you, people that add value to your life, and you add value to their life.
Mojo, do you have something to add on that?
So, you know, you said something about like what was it? I should have wrote it down. It was like we want to find that happy medium with that person, but it's hard. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. Right. Set boundaries. So it's hard to set boundaries in the beginning, when it's hard to set boundaries to really be like, for me, I don't know if anyone else is going through this, but for me, it's hard to set boundaries in the beginning because you don't want to set boundaries because you don't want to break the relationship. So you don't want to set boundaries. You want things to be like ebb and flow. Like I'm Aries, so I want everything to be like kind of flowing, kind of nonchalant, kind of like, yeah, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that, but at the cost of me not hanging out with this person, or not going to the gym, or not doing what I want to do. And that's the problem. Because as soon as we, you know, get to the point where you know, that little voice inside your head is like, you gotta set boundaries with this person because you're gonna like miss out. You know, fear of missing out on everything. But you're with that person, but you want to develop a loving relationship with that person, but you don't want to like hurt them by setting boundaries.
This
you know
is
what I
so
mean?
common. This is why, like, you know, like a lot of people say like, oh, my relationships don't last longer than 2 or 3 months. It's because they go through this period of not setting boundaries. They kind of become one person. We call it confluence in clinical psych. You become one with the other person. You have no boundaries. And then 2 to 3 months in, you're like, I can't stand this anymore. And then we'll break up. So every relationship has a culture. Every relationship has a culture. You have to be intentional about the relationship culture that you're creating from the very, very beginning. Your culture needs to include that boundaries are welcomed and appreciated.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, Mayor, please go. And then I do want Mayor you to share. I know you said you had some dating epiphanies. I'm like so curious. I don't know if you share them.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I would love to hear them.
I was talking to my friend about this last night, and it came to me. I was like, I'm now at this point, like Dr. Morgan said, where I'm ready to enter the dating world, and I'm like, not like I don't know. I'm still finding my balance with, boundaries and compromising and trying to figure out, what boundaries I need to respect and what I need to be more curious about, opposed to like expecting people to do that. So I'm still finding balance with that. But a huge epiphany I've had was that, the issues and I'll even say traumas that I've had and that anyone's had in relationships in the past, and this is kind of going to what you guys were saying earlier with, like you can't heal this stuff outside of the context of a relationship. You can work on yourself for the rest of your life, but you will never like fully transcend that cycle or that like bad thing if you can't do that outside the context of a relationship. So you have to do that in a relationship, and it doesn't always have to be committed relationships that you do that in, but you have to do it in the relationship. Because I was getting into this like very like, oh, I can source everything from myself, I don't need people, I can, I take care of myself, I do this and that. But like the truth is we all need to source stuff from people, so we need to learn how to heal that stuff in the context of a relationship.
Were you on our last Love Quest episode? Because we totally talked about this.
Was that with Eve? That was the last one.
Eve was our last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about, so there's certain healing that can only take place within a relationship, and you owe it to yourself to allow yourself to have a corrective emotional experience where you have a new experience inside of a relationship. And it's healing that can only take place in a relationship.
Absolutely.
I love that.
That's what made me more open to it, I think. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mojo.
No, I just, sorry about that was a Lamborghini or something. But there's a lot of noise. I apologize. Thank you for muting my mic periodically because I'm outside. But yeah, so I get really emotionally involved with relationships. I really do. I put my heart and soul into them because I'm very loyal. But once I feel something's off, I kind of shut down like this cold person, and I don't want to be that person. I don't like having to do that. Because then, it doesn't do anything for my personal growth. Because I just feel, and also, just quickly in the comments, I'm digressing a little bit. In the comments, do you guys feel like on Meet Me, do you feel like some of your voids are like filled when you go to someone's live and you talk to them?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that? I feel that way. And because of this platform, it's making it easier to not accept a relationship because I feel like people are so cool here. It's just like it's very strange with people on a very you get to get some really cool bonds with friends and because of the pandemic I wasn't out. I was going out and a lot of people weren't going out, and we like created families on here. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to go out and to find people again. Out in the wild, and that's just one of the things that have been going through my head too. But go ahead.
No,
I just wanted to add.
That's such a good point, and I think one of the things I would add is our romantic partners. We can't place all of our relationship needs onto one person. So to have a healthy relationship, you also need communities like Meet Me and your friends and your family and other relationships, because a lot of relationships fail because people place all their relationship needs on one person. So this is a great community to support you as you're dating, so that you do get some of your needs met here, and then you can go into a healthy way into a romantic relationship.
And also, don't that one person that a lot of times you always source everything from can be yourself. Like in my situation, you know, you always just kind of put one person on a pedestal. Sometimes it's yourself, sometimes it's just one person, and sometimes even on the app it can be one person. So yeah, source from several different people, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Anytime, this is kind of like a different topic, but anytime you're noticing that your self-worth is dependent on how one person responds to you, or how like one community even responds to you, if your self-worth is dependent on an external person or external interaction, then you definitely need to stop, heal that relationship with yourself. Your self-worth comes from you. Blake, we're getting so deep today. I appreciate Mare and Mojo just getting vulnerable, getting deep. So good. Blake, what were you going to add? You're muted. Blakey poo.
I know I have some construction going down right here. No, I think I'm happy Mare and Mojo both are very deep, introspective people. So kind of a great crew to have, same with me. So I feel like we would be a good team together to share everything. Yeah, we have 5 minutes left. Up to you, Dr. Morgan. Do you want to go through the quick exercise?
Yeah.
Should we do it? Do you remember it? Or okay, talk.
So, you know how we can have all of these unhelpful dating beliefs. We all develop them. It's life. It happens. We develop these beliefs. Blake and I thought it'd be great if we could have each of you share a positive, empowering, uplifting belief about dating. We'd love for you to come up with one, and if you're watching in the audience, you can drop them in the chat. But let's end on some positivity and some great beliefs about dating.
Mojo, go first.
He's like, oh.
I've always
I can
first.
no, I'll go first. I'll go first. So yeah, I think one of my if I had to say kind of like some of my current beliefs is that dating is hard. Dating like takes up all my time, stuff like that. So I think my number one positive thing I'm going to tell myself is dating is fun. Dating's a good time. Yeah, so that would be my first one. Dating is fun. It's enjoyable. Let's see. Dating can add to my life, not take away. So a bit of, can only make my life better. Yeah, that's a good one, Mojo.
Yes.
Bring new adventures and that's actually a smart way to think about dating.
Love that.
I like that. Yeah, so dating is fun probably is my number one, because right now I'm still in that mindset of like, oh man, here we go again.
Dating
here comes the rumble.
is as fun as a rave music festival.
Mare and I take that very serious. That you're talking to. We take that serious.
To Mare and Blake. No, yeah. I love that one. Dating is fun. And so if I'm you, and if you're struggling with that belief and it's like not really feeling true, what you would want to do is put it on your phone, put sticky notes everywhere, write it in your journal, like make sure that you can see that dating is fun and your brain is seeing it, and it will help you create ways to make dating fun. Okay, thanks, Blake. Who's next?
I guess something that's like really great about dating, or really helpful, or really positive about dating, is that like we only have so much time on the planet. So it's like kind of what Mojo said, like you can get so, if you eliminate the expectation of getting in a commitment, getting married, getting a house, if you eliminate the expectations, you are opening yourself up to some of the most incredible experiences of your life. Because I feel like everyone here could probably agree with me that some of the best experiences you've had was not with someone you were romantically involved with. It could have been a friend that told you something really amazing. It could be your family that they did something wonderful with you. And it's not all like black and white. Relationships are all not black and white. We're all taught codependency, like it's nobody's, you know, like it's the only way. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Mayor.
I want to add, like, it's really cool that I'm on the show 2 days before I have to play a wedding.
That's good time.
2 days before I have to get up there and like, all right, guys, let's announce the bridal party for the first time in public as husband and wife.
I love it.
It's like some part of me wants to believe, that people get married and people, you know, still like get married because they really love each other. And like, I think because I do this stuff, like the weddings and the wedding season, I kind of see that. I kind of still see that people actually love and support each other, and families that actually love and support each other. You know what I mean? And, you know, I kind of want to like start asking like their story. Like, how did you guys meet? Like, what in the world did you guys, how did this happen? How long did you guys, you know, how long were you guys together where you finally said, hey, let's become husband and wife? Because it's such a big step. And like, for me, it's just like, you know, some of these, you know, the bride and groom, they're so connected. You know, they're so like, it's like really like a blessing to see that. They're not miserable. They're very like happy to be each other, happy with their family. It's like, it's really cool to see. Yeah, I like the new adventures. I like the new experiences, you know, and I like going into a relationship without any expectations. You know, I definitely see that as being a really key part of it. It's not expecting a lot and like just going with it. And that's kind of like my rule. I just go with the flow. And sometimes it hurts me a little because I just go with the flow too much. And, you know, you gotta have that balance. And by the way, to add, cheers, Blake, for playing Midnight Star. I was listening, I was overhearing, I kind of dropped out of it, but I overheard it, so.
Love it. You know, Mojo, I want to add to what you're talking about. When you're working on your dating mindset, you have to make sure you find models of great relationships that you're really excited about. So you're totally right. Ask the bride and groom. Tell me your story. You want all the evidence in the world that love works out. So I'm going to give you a couple of my best dating affirmations. Maybe some of you will take these. I am a magnet for healthy, reciprocal love. Love works out for me. That's one of my favorite ones. Simple. Love works out for me. There are people out there right now who would be so excited to date me and want to build a healthy, reciprocal relationship with me. I'm worthy of unconditional love. I could go on, but see how these shifts are so big.
So good.
Powerful. They're very powerful too. Just so warning. Like if you actually verbally say it, you guys say it for like 20 days and your life will completely change.
I got mine. I'll say it for 20 days. Dating is fun, like a music festival. If I can believe that, I'll be in great shape. So.
Yes, I love it. Wow, what an amazing guest, Mir and Mojo. You all have been wonderful. What a joy to talk.
You guys are amazing.
You guys are great. Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you, Dr. Morgan.
For being willing
of course.
to
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Mayor. Bye, Mojo. Two amazing guests. Better people. Love you guys. How cool are they, Dr. Morgan? Those are two of my favorite people on the app. They're both very awesome people.
I'm blown away. They were both so vulnerable, beyond what I could have even expected. Super grateful to both of them for sharing where they're at, their journeys. And honestly, I'm excited. They're both such great people with big hearts. And I know that they have so much to give. So I'm excited for them. I want to stay in the loop with what develops in their life. So
Deal.
Hello, Mir and Mojo.
All right, that is a show. For those who are like, wow, Dr. Morgan gives great advice, I would agree with you. You can connect with her on Dr. Morgan Coaching on Instagram. Let's Get Vulnerable, the podcast. What are we over 500?
Yes, 700,000 listens as of right now.
What? Yo, we're throwing you a Millie party.
Yeah, a Millie's coming. Yeah, 700,000 listens. Some really good episodes on attachment theory, on dating, and yeah, the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. Everywhere podcasts are aired. There's 2 episodes with Blake. One with Blake and Chris Casper, where they discuss avoidant attachment and dating. It's super juicy. One of the favorite episodes.
Gentle had it ready to go.
So check it out. Check it out. Blake,
And
thank
then-
you for having me.
And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, I don't know if there's still space, but Dr. Moore does a very small group. I think it's called ESL, extremely
Empowered.
okay.
Secure, empowered, secure, and loved.
Okay.
It's an 8-week relationship coaching program for women only at the moment. And this is a really special time to join. 2% of the profit goes to the domestic violence hotline right now. So you get to give back. And if you're interested in that, the link is in my Instagram bio. So at Dr. Morgan Coaching on Instagram, go check it out.
Well, Dr. Morgan, I appreciate you so much. You're an awesome person, I'm so lucky to be a friend of yours. And yeah, it's just a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you for a great show, and I'm so happy we can support this community. Hopefully we help some people during cuffing season. Get out there and date. Yeah, just definitely appreciate getting this time with you all.
All right. Bye, Dr. Morgan. Love you.
I love you.
And that is Dr. Morgan, literally one of the coolest people on earth. I don't care what anyone else says. It's just the truth. All right. Thank you guys so much. Mando, thank you for being here so much and your awesome comments. Andy, thank you as well. Alex, thank you for staying for so long. Let me shout out the gifters. Jason, thank you, buddy. Travel Bay, she has a great featured show. Mando, Mayor Bear, thank you guys so much. All the love in my heart. Again, seriously, follow Dr. Morgan on Instagram. She's the absolute truth, okay? Some people talk about stuff and like don't have expertise. She totally has expertise and talks about it in a really loving way. So she's amazing. I'm so happy I could bring her here to share some of her great advice. So she really is so dope. All right, everyone, take care. Yeah, and check out also the guests on the show, Mayor Bear and Mojo, 2 incredible dudes and dudettes. Check them out. They're great people. So Moji J, thank you, buddy. Thank you. And he recorded the show, so check out YouTube for that. All right, everyone, take care. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.